This is Nikon's 24 to 120mm Z mount lens. Let me walk you through the port assembly. In this case, I've got the Z6 Mark II. I'll push the button to release the body cap. I've already removed the retaining ring. I'm going to take the dedicated interference friction fit gear sleeve for this lens, put it down in the port opening, take the retaining ring, drop it around that, take the tool, snug this down. Does not need to be over tightened. At this point, you need to add a +4 diopter to the front of the lens. You won't be able to shoot photos underwater without it. Now, I don't have the correct one, so I can't show you that happening here, but it simply threads onto the front of your lens before you move on to the next step. And note that adding a +4 diopter prevents the lens from focusing at infinity above the surface of the water. If you want to use the system at or above the surface of the water, then I recommend choosing a lens that can focus to 12 inches or less throughout its entire zoom range. Okay, let's get back to the rest of the assembly. Make note of the white dot on the camera body. Make note of the white dot on the lens itself. Roughly align those two things as you insert the lens through the gear sleeve. You'll feel the interference fit, and then you're going to want to go ahead and just bayonet that onto the body. Once you have it onto the body, check your zoom. And then we can turn our attention to the port system. We're going to need two extensions. Here we have the 42mm plus the 20mm and the large dome. Make sure that all three thumb screws are loosened so that they're not protruding to the inside diameter of each of the components. Take up some of the included Ikelite lubricant on your fingertips. Run that around the extension O-ring, inspecting for any flaws in the O-ring or debris. Doesn't matter which extension you put on top of the other. In this case, I'm going to put the 42mm on the bottom. I'll do the same thing to this O-ring. And then I'm going to check the sealing surface of this extension. You'll notice pockets that correspond with each thumb screw. Align the thumb screw with the pockets. Press firmly down. And that's sealed now. We're going to use these three thumb screws, finger tight, to keep it retained. Take our attention to the dome. Check the sealing surface just like you did the extension. And you'll notice on the dome that one of these three thumb screws is going to align with the shade. And we want that to be at the top of our housing. So in this case, etched is the name of the extension. I will take that corresponding thumb screw and put that at the top. Again, lining the thumb screws with the pockets. Finger tightening each of the three thumb screws in the dome port. Using a little bit of the Ikelite lube, do the same thing to the O-ring on the port mount. Just a little bit goes a long way, as you're just trying to overcome the friction of the two parts going together. The lubricant does not create the seal. And we have the shade at the top. We're going to go ahead and correspond those three thumb screws there with the pocket in the top of the port mount. Press those pieces together and tighten each of the three thumb screws. And that's it. That's all that's required for the 24 to 120. If you have any questions, comment below or shoot us an email to ikelite@ikelite.com.